The whole environment, starts with his drawings and the lopsided floors and walls and the just beautiful images and the live puppetry and great effects, in-camera effects, and he just gives you as much as of the final visuals as you can get on a set.
Yeah, that's incredibly informative. It's like when you put on, when actors describe putting on good wardrobe and hair and makeup, and they feel themselves start to change the way they move. It's so informative, and it's so rare that you're able to, reflect on or get inspired by the scene, the scenery that's going on around you. So I think that was, okay, I have a little bit of a better idea where I am now, which was great.
He's a really good, playful boss, too. He makes it feel like it's, what about this? Because he is saying that. And he's saying, what do you think, too?
Very spontaneous.
Yeah, really spontaneous and creative. He really keeps you on your toes. It happened to me on TV, 4 or 5 days before I went to London to shoot. And I hadn't watched it. I've been thinking about watching it, but I just hadn't gotten it together. And it came on TV, and I just stood there and watched it. And I was reminded how quickly I spoke, which really helped me because for several years, I've been playing a very slow-speaking, methodical speaker, and it really helped me, make a shift and not sound like any other character. So that really helped, and just watching it, being reminded of what a great experience it was.
I went to Tim's place to meet about Wednesday, season 2, and I wrote down some ideas of, potentially where the season can go, because he asked me for that, and then he just was like, oh, okay, well, actually, I don't want to talk about that right now. No pressure or anything, and then he plopped the Beetlejuice script in front of me. So that was the first time I had heard about her. He kind of gave me a quick rundown, but she's not Lydia, and she's not Wednesday either, but she's this weird in between. So I think, obviously, the prospect of getting to work with Tim again was very exciting to me. Exciting to work with him on a movie this time around, and also, to be able to be in scenes with Beetlejuice and Delia and Lydia. It's just, I didn't even know that was ever going to be possible. So there was a lot of things that made me interested in the job, and that was about November of 2022. I remember I went to New York the next day to promote Wednesday.
Every moment of being there, I was very present. I made sure, because it's like an absolute dream come true, and you just want to really be present for literally every single moment. And of all the things that I've done, it's really one of the most special things, to be back with these people that meant the world to me. It kind of spoiled me as an actress, and we're so inclusive when I was a kid, and Tim was, we had such a great bond, and that he was able to recreate that for, even with all of the buzz or anticipation, and that it still felt like we were somehow under, we again, just no studio present, right. And that might be a testament to the great producers, but we just felt like this really liberating, inspiring in the moment, oh, let's try this, just this freedom, because I trust him so much. I know he's not going to use anything that doesn't work. There were a lot of times when I was, I had sort of gotten my hopes up, but there was never, I feel like it was sort of this kismet fate, because I realized we had to wait for Jenna to be born and grow up and be the perfect, because she really just fit. She sort of completed this puzzle, and she was such an amazing addition, as was Justin and Willem and Monica. It's like a dream cast. Tim, all of our sort of, he was doing it with everyone, but, they were very sort of top secret. I'd go over to his house, and we would talk, and he'd always say, life happens, and you find yourself, you're older, and sort of, I think, a lot of what he's gone through in his life, and everyone evolves, and except for Beetlejuice, maybe.
Yeah, right. He's the same old Beetlejuice,
yeah.
but in the best way. We love to watch him. Yeah.
He's like endgame for me. I totally want them to be truly together. I know, but I remember being like, wait, she has a show and she's with this guy. Like I had not pictured at all.
Right.
So, but it worked. Like as soon as sort of Justin came on and we figured out like the dynamic, which is just so dysfunctional, and he literally finds her at her most vulnerable, and and there are people that do that, and with Jenna, I mean, we just had formed such a sacred bond that just I've never had.
All of them, but I mean, some of them are just simple gags, opening up a sweater and having guts blow out at you, things like that. But the thing that I was the most obsessed with and sort of nerding out on was those puppets. There's a baby puppet in it that's so terrifying and amazing with facial expressions, and then the bobs, which are these sort of or the head shrinkers, which had these incredible eyeballs that would move and they could make expressions as well. And then there were, dozens of those guys kicking around. Tim's very good at sort of letting everyone kind of just have input, and I think that's the way he gets, and then Wardrobe by Colleen Atwood, which is just brilliant stuff. But we did a couple like hair tests. We had one that was sort of like a black Fabio hair. Then we had one that was sort of like mullety, and then when we finally put on the last one, which was that little terrible, sort of, it's a piece that goes on top that has a ponytail in the back. That's when we all laughed really hard. I have some stuff already like churning that I'd love to do, but I'd keep it a secret. I mean, Hollywood just gets funnier, like as the years go on.
Yeah.
It never ceases to amaze me how navel-gazing it can be. And so, I don't know, there's a million things. I mean, we've gone through so many movements in Hollywood that I think that those would all be somehow in the mix. Yeah. Listen, if an idea strikes me like it struck Tim, where he's like, oh, this could be a sequel, I'll definitely do a sequel.
Dolores is so interesting because for me, she has this duality where she's dangerous and she's also funny, and she's a metaphor of life, because we all have emotional scars, and she's full of scars, but she's strong, she's coming back, she's fighting, she's looking for vengeance, and in this moment where she puts herself together, I mean, this is a very strong scene because it took 2-3 days to film it, and I tried to play like a broken doll, like I felt like a mime, and I had to learn an entire choreography, but it was so much fun. And almost all my scenes are with Michael Keaton, and he was so generous, so gentle, and was so interesting to see the creative synergy between Tim and Michael through the years, to be part of this amazing cast and to enter into Tim's fantastic and poetic and magical world. I mean, on these sets, you really can meet real monsters, and this was really helpful, no? Because you have something to react to instead of a green screen, and also you can go farther with your fantasy, your imagination, and also Tim loves to draw, so there are always drawings of situations and characters, and this is very helpful, and also for me, for Dolores, to get into these beautiful sets, to wear those amazing costumes of Colleen Atwood. Of course, all this was so helpful to create the character.